I have with me right now Michael Pappaini. Michael Pappaini, I have known you for 12 years. You're a language artist. Tell everybody what a language artist is.
Well, a language artist is someone who attempts to create art with language. It's like if I were a traditional artist, using painter, I would use paint to create images, to stimulate emotions and all that stuff. And they call that fine art. Language art is usually called, right at the top, it's poetry. Poetry is like saying you painted the Mona Lisa. That's an accomplishment. Language art is the effort that writers put in to make it poetry at the end.
Well, you've been on my radio show so many times. You've also been on my TV show. And you said to me that you have a poster that you are going to be doing that is really exciting. Tell everybody a little bit about what's coming up with you.
Well, we got a new year and a lot of new projects coming in, and this season that we're doing, we're trying to organize it more like a gallery showing in an artistic way, because we're going to take our posters, the poetry posters, the language arts posters, and we're going to give them, we're going to rent a venue and then give a gallery showing of them. When they do it, like all day long, people are going to be able to walk in and see them. Nothing for sale, nobody there, just walk in and see them like a museum. Then around early afternoon, I'm thinking maybe around 4 o'clock or something like that, the artists will be there to discuss, like have an open forum, discuss, answer questions on stuff, say from 4 to 6 or something like that. That way people are getting to, at their own leisure, look at what we do, kind of figure out what we do, whether they like it or not, and then come and ask questions by it. And then we can tell them what the possibilities are. Either prints that we sell, which are less money, or original creations, where the fine artist does a portrait or does some work of art that's original art, and then I interview the client and then draw a language art piece from what they said, therefore capturing their emotions with my language.
Well, what I know about you is that you tell me that you know how to interview people.
Yes.
And that you work with them to find out a little bit about what their relationship was with this person, or it could be their animal, or actually anything that they want to make that portrait come alive.
Well, the thing behind this, Carol, is a real simple thing. The things you remember about somebody you love very much that's no longer here, for instance. You remember the little things. You can remember, well, this person was the CEO of a great corporation, or this person accomplished great things, as a great teacher, a great principal, whatever the profession may be. But what you're going to remember is, something? I remember it was Tuesday afternoon and it was raining when he came in the door and he said this to me. This is significant to you. It's not significant to anybody else. But see, those are the things I'm looking at that I can incorporate into the body of the written part. And then with John or another artist doing the artwork for it, we've got an equal representative of those emotions in fine art, but we've got them represented in language art. And when they come together, what you're getting is a exponentially intensive work of art that explains your emotions of how you felt towards this person or this animal.
The Wyatt Earp poster that you have, you say that it is the real Wyatt Earp, that is the blonde.
Right, Wyatt Earp had blonde hair and blue eyes. Most people know he had blue eyes, but they figure he looked more like Hugh Bryan or Kurt Russell. And actually, Wyatt Earp didn't look like Kurt Russell or Hugh Bryan. They were trying to look like him. It was the other way around. And so we did a lot of research. John Ranger, who runs that Ranger Marketing here in Phoenix, is really secretly the best artist since Jackson Pollock left Mesa. I mean, this guy is good, and he did the portrait after a lot of research of photographs and stuff of Wyatt Earp, so we've got a really good likeness of Wyatt Earp.
And you have a poem that you have written for that, and you also love our Western culture that we have here in Arizona. We have a lot of it, and people I don't think people think about.
I'll give you two examples that probably nobody of your listeners knows about. In Florence, Arizona, In 1888, a sheriff and a deputy fought it out on the main street and had a gunfight. That was the gunfight of Arizona for years and years and years. We're going to present that back up and the people involved. One of the amazing things, I'll mention two, I'm going to try to mention two quick things here. First of all, Arizona is the only state that I've managed to find that were the Chinese coming over, workers that they were, they actually owned real estate on Main Street in Florence. It's got to be the only town in the United States where they owned real estate on the main street. Wow. So Arizona was ahead of the times in their dealing with, say, the Chinese. Another magnificent that floored me completely is there was a Native American who was presenting a lawsuit that this property was hers. And the family members and stuff, no, it doesn't, this couldn't happen. They had some people from the East come out here and say, no, we're the relatives, it's ours. And they had this battle to see who would get the land. A Native American, I don't think there's ever been a Native American that won a lawsuit like that, but in Florence, Arizona, in the 1800s, the Native American won the lawsuit and managed to secure the property from her parents.
Find out all this information, Michael.
One great source is the Pinal County Museum down in Florence. Fantastic place. I encourage everybody to go visit there and see what's down there. They've got the knife that Joe Fye used during the gunfight. Wow. Something to see, right? And also the story of the Chinese person I found out down there. Another place is the Pioneer Museum down in Tucson. It's there.
Do you think we can do a giveaway for everybody to get entered in to win one of these posters?
I think whoever contacts you and your station, right, during this broadcast, will get a signed copy of that brand new wider poster.
I think that would be great. So everybody, you can check it out. All they have to do is go to my YouTube and subscribe, and you can tell us that you want to get entered in to win. And this is going to be really cool because I've done a lot of the giveaways on my new YouTube show, so I think you're going to be one of the first ones. So all you have to do is subscribe to YouTube, and you'll be able to get entered in to win. And this is the real it's the real one with the blonde hair and blue eyes, and then the poem that goes along with it.
Right, and this would be put out as a limited edition, so there'll only be probably 1,000 printed. The ones we're going to give away, and no price at all, we're going to give them away. Signed by both artists, myself and John Ranger.
And you know what? You always say this on my show, if you keep it, and what?
It's going to be worth $24 at least when we die, because art is an investment.
Now, what I do also love about your work too is it really does bring out a portrait. So if you have somebody that you have a picture of and you'd want to really make that something special, maybe you want it just to be sitting in your home, or maybe that you want to give it to someone, you should check it out, Michael. And you know, Michael, we have to have a website for you someday so that we can get it out there.
We're using a temporary website, an older one, until we get the new one up and running.
So what's that?
So that is artofpoems.com.
That's real easy. Check them out. It's
so you can check some of the things we do with the posters that we've done already.
I'm so glad you said that. So it's artofpoems.com, and you can check out Michael and all the work that he's done. It's beautiful work, and I've seen it. I've taken it over to some of the different mortuaries that are the people that have lost some of their loved ones and their animals, that you can do it with one of your favorite pet that you've had. You can do something like that. Tell them what else you do.
Well, so much is the how we do it. You know, how could I capture someone else's emotions? Because if I wrote a poem about your grandfather or your father or somebody like that, that's my perception, not yours. That's what we don't want. We want your perception. So again, we interview and we ask for those little things, and I know the questions to ask to stimulate, saying, you know, there was that one day, it's very special to us. And we incorporate that narrative, and then I take it home and make it into, you know, the verse, the structure, and just give it the structure.
It's artofpoems.com. Also, subscribe to YouTube, and you'll get entered in to win one of these portraits, and it's going to be signed by both artists.